Good morning. It's October 3rd, 2023. This is Windows Daily Helpline number 301. My name is Doug Betts, and this is where myself and the chat room stand ready to respond to your questions that come to me by email and or in the chat room or by comments on any of my videos. I have audio confirmation. I don't think you heard any of that. It's kind of confusing for me. And hey, we finally made it. It is show number 301. Isn't that exciting? Well, it's not a round number, but any number is just a number, isn't it? So, Doug, what are you going to start with today? Well, I've got a couple of emails to follow up on. I got some comments in the chat room on videos to follow up on, but the most significant is a comment that's already in the chat room this morning. So I'm going to open. This is unusual with going to the chat room first. Though this is unusual for the Monday through Friday show. On Saturdays, I pretty much always start with the chat room. Jeff Ryman, hello. Darren Gilholm, hello. Martin Hogg, Sin Vicious, Brian Lightfoot. Someone tried to sell me a coffin today, but it's the last thing I need. I do like your jokes. Rick Lakes, Martin Hogg, chit chat between people. Rick Lakes, I'm now getting a message on my monitor that shows up. It says ad blockers are not allowed on YouTube. Is this for real? I'm not at all surprised to see that happen. I made a comment recently that YouTube seems to be pushing more for live streams to use to allow advertisements during the stream. I'm going to show you where I see that coming from. I've got a couple other comments to make on this subject. When I go into, where is it? Monetization, YouTube. Oh, this live ad settings is coming up. And when I go schedule a live stream, it seems to be pushing me to make these show up. This is let YouTube insert mid-rolls for you. I select manual. When I schedule the show, the choice is allow YouTube to automatically insert advertisements, and I choose manual. But when I look here, it actually says choose how mid-rolls appear. Oh, here's the manual. Schedule mid-roll ads at set frequency or manual. It seems that there's been a change in here somehow, and that makes me think that they're pushing more to get live streamers to allow ads during their stream. Now, during the month of October, I plan to do that on Saturdays after an hour into the show, and I'm going to let you know when it's coming so that you can, go get yourself a drink or something, and I'm going to kind of put my conversation into nothing burger mode so you don't miss anything while ads play. But the reason why I think this is happening in response to Rick Lakes is there is a major thing going on right now in YouTube where a lot of the larger than me, YouTube streamers who are actually counting on YouTube as part of their income, they're getting limited, let's see, what is it called? Limited invalid views. They're getting their revenue that comes to them decrease, and it's called what did I just say? Invalid views. It's been called the invalid views bug. There's a whole bunch of videos about it and streamers coming out saying their opinion of it. I haven't seen anyone actually nail it very well yet. There's one that I saw recently that showed that YouTube is still charging the advertisers a lot of money, but the amount of money coming to the YouTuber is way down. And they have this graph that shows the charge to the advertisers and the amount going to the YouTube content creator, kind of following pretty close to each other. And then within the last month, last 2 months, last 3 months, it's different between these different YouTubers that are getting hit with this. It diverges to where they're still charging the advertisers, maybe in some cases even charging the advertisers more, and paying less money to the YouTuber. My opinion, what's going on here, nobody has nailed this, is I think YouTube has used algorithms to go back into the past on that YouTuber's account and find things that they consider to be invalid views. And now retroactively, they're essentially charging that back to the YouTuber, and their policies actually publish that they are allowed to do that. And they're not giving a very good accounting of this. But the YouTubers who have been hit with this, it appears that it only lasts for a few months, and then their income returns to normal. Unfortunately, the YouTubers that have complained about this invalid views bug, they're calling it, I don't think it's a bug at all, they don't come back later and show that, well, I haven't seen them come back later and show that their revenue has been restored. But I've seen a couple comments along those lines. So now YouTube has been encountering a lot of lawsuits, in fact, class action lawsuits from their advertisers due to invalid views, due specifically to this. So YouTube has had to pay out a lot of money in settlements to the advertisers complaining about invalid views. I have experienced invalid views occurring on my computer, where I turn my computer on and I'm away from it for hours, and I come back and I see those YouTube videos running. I never asked for those to run. Those are invalid views. Now, if I didn't have the Prime version where I pay for it, I don't see the commercials anyway, the commercials would have been running, and those are invalid views. There's not a live person there watching. And that's what those lawsuits have been about. I'm not at all surprised to see that YouTube is going to be trying to clamp down on things such as ad blockers, because people who use ad blockers, I don't think, well, somehow YouTube must be able to know it, because Rick Lakes has got the notification of it. And I'm assuming he was using an ad blocker. I'm not at all surprised to see them clamping down on this, because that is what they are getting sued from their advertisers by. So yeah, I don't know where that's going to land and end up, but that's what I think is going on there. So here I see a lot of other chit chat between people. I'm going to go into my other things to follow up on. The website make use of claims that what you're seeing is indeed YouTube's current policy. Let's see, make use of let's see what is over here. What to do if YouTube detects your ad blocker. Okay, I'm going to go catch up on that later. Invalid traffic. YouTube gives bleep all information to the creator. Lawn TV did an episode within the last day or two. Did you see that one? I'm not trying to see them all. There's too many of them out there. But the further research that I've done, I haven't seen anybody give that further research about how YouTube has been sued over this and what is the specific thing they've been sued for. It's been specifically invalid views. I do think it's from YouTube. It pauses the video. It asks what ad blocker I'm using. After I tell it, I use uBlock. It goes away, but it comes back a few minutes later. I'm following various learning channels, including repair channels, and none of those channels have a resumption of the income. Have you seen ones that are reporting more than 3 months? All the ones that I've seen that show their decreased income, nobody has shown it more than 3 months that I have seen. If you see someone that's more than 3 months, let me know that. I think the biggest problem, Doug, with YouTube is there is no panel or board or representation committee for YouTube creators to resolve issues and have authority to wage fines against YouTube. What's going to have to happen there is the same thing that the advertisers did, is class action lawsuit against YouTube. And that would mean YouTubers getting together outside of YouTube and doing a class action lawsuit for it. But I don't think they would win, because it is part of the policies of YouTube that if invalid views are discovered, that they can be charged back. It is in their documentation. Ad blockers as well. I pay premium, can't stand ads in the middle of streams, and coincidentally now I get full movie suggestions, which I love, never offered before. The skipped ads. Yeah, my ads I think are configured as skippable. One repair channel showed the drop occurring last month, same as another creator where 2 of his channels hit. Yeah, one that showed It was a repair channel. I know the name. Dennis watches them a lot. And he showed the divergence of the charges still being made to the advertisers, but his income decreased. But he didn't go into the lawsuits against YouTube on the subject. Yeah, learning electronics repair. Opera has kept me free from ads for years. Now, at some point, YouTube's going to have to nail that down because they charge money to their advertisers to get advertisements in front of viewers' eyes. If they're not doing that, then they can't charge it. How does YouTube make up for that? Well, they've got to reduce the amount of money that's being paid to the content creators or do something somewhere. Skip my line at 06 minutes. Zv06. Zv. Hi all, I'm guilty of triggering the bug. Yeah. If you're using an ad blocker, you're probably triggering the bug. If you have autoplay turned on and you walk away from your computer and your computer just keeps playing video after video after video, that's going to be triggering the bug. And again, I don't think it's a bug. I think it was intentional and probably righteous by YouTube to go find the invalid views and refund that money to the advertisers and charge it back to the content creators, because that is the job of the content creators, is to get advertisements out there in front of viewers. If that is happening falsely, then YouTube has grounds to charge that back. And people who are YouTube creators who have it's a small business, something that is advised of small business owners and medium business owners and big business owners, is you've got to keep a buffer of resources, of assets on hand, of money on hand to weather the storm when misfortune comes your way. Because if you're in business, misfortune will come your way. And a lot of YouTubers who discover success before they've really learned how to be a business person doesn't know that you have to keep that, come on, assets, resources. Companies have been criticized for having huge amounts of cash on hand, but they do that so they can weather the storm when problems come to them. And successful YouTubers that don't understand how to be in business don't know that, and they freak out, they panic when their income gets hit for 1, 2, 3 months, and aren't prepared to withstand that. If you're a business person, you got to be able to withstand that. Okay, so now I've got a couple things in my email to hold on to. I grabbed a couple chat comments from Zavi Manor on Saturday, and he had made a comment that I think I missed. During the installation of Windows 10 Pro, after modifying the IE.CFG, you have to skip the key. And I think that was a subject that came up, that somebody was having trouble reinstalling Windows after a computer had a digital license. Well, when you get to that point where the installation asks you for the key, you have to click that link that says, I don't have a key. And you're lying. Get over it. You're going to lie to Windows installation. Nobody's worried about that, right? But you have to lie to it so that Windows can actually launch, and then check with the Microsoft activation servers, and it'll find the digital license key. So I don't think we talked about that on Saturday. So I was very happy to see that comment from Zavi. And he says, because the board is was activated before. So if you get a computer that's activated on a digital license, no matter how, I think in that conversation, the computer had been upgraded from Windows 7 or 8 to Windows 10. And then the person had reinstalled, was it Jeff Ryman? Reinstalled later and couldn't get it activated. Well, you have to click skip. You have to click that link that says, I don't have a key, to get into Windows, and then you might have to attempt to do a Windows update, and then the board should activate. Because I don't think, if you're on Windows 10, I don't think any computers are actually relying on a license key stored in BIOS. That used to be a thing, and once it gets a digital license, I think that is over with. You just got to get into Windows being launched. Let's see if Zivi is giving me confirmation on that. Now he's talking about the ad blocker there. Okay, then I'll get to my next email. Pretty sure Martin's Hug email address doesn't show up. Yeah. And let's make this. No, not that way. Get to the right way here. All right, I'll just make it bigger this way. He says, "Hi, Doug. I just wanted to share this with you in your chat. You will no doubt know many more of these than myself, but thought it may help some to see most of them in one place." Now, these are keyboard shortcuts that he's sharing here. Very nice. Thank you, Martin. Now, I do not have all of these memorized. Technical term. But the ones that I care about, I do have remembered in my head. So it's useful. The reason why I wanted to bring this out is because it's good to go back and review these once in a while. And in doing so, I have on occasion found, oh, I want to nail that one down. So I'll pick that particular one that I've, know that I need that. I could use that, but I don't have that one nailed down. So he's got some things here written out in sentence form. I'm figuring he probably did copy and paste here. So I'm not going to read through all of these. I just want to encourage, if you want to get a review of them, you can come back later and pause the video at each of these places. But you look through these and try to pick out the ones that you ought to be using, because it does make sense to your workflow, whatever you are doing, that you may find these useful to you. And you've got to kind of study them a little bit. Say, well, now what is that? What does it do? When is it useful? Now, the way some of these are worded, you can't tell that it's like only applicable in Microsoft Excel or maybe in spreadsheets, or some of them only applicable in a word processing program. It's not actually identified in here as such. But it looks like he's got them copied from a couple different sources, at least maybe 3 or 4 different sources, and pasted. So there's a lot of duplication in here, like this whole section here. There's the Control-C, and I think we have that probably up here as well. They're just taken from different places. But I just wanted, the only reason to bring this out is that he offered it, and it's a good point, and that it's a good practice to go back and review those once in a while and figure out, what can I do to make my life easier by really nailing down one or more of these shortcuts. See, I think what I want to go next into is channel comments. Oh, by the way, I've just started paying attention. My channel growth, I'm kind of being able to recognize it easily by, if my plus 33 in the last 28 days, it always shows the last 28 days, and I've kind of usually been around the same number of new subscribers as 28 days, meaning 28 new subscribers in the last 28 days. I picked up a little more recently. I think it was from a recent Carrie Holzman comment of my channel. But what I was trying to get to here was comments. All right, let's go bigger here. Avicii Grafstein, very interesting, great video. This is the video where I was sharing about the installing my M.2 memory into that DIM.2 board. So thank you, Avicii. It was nice to see your comment on that. And then this Fix Windows Live Club. Ida says, "Hi, Doug. Just wanted to correct my error about the name of robotic surgery. The surgery system is known as Da Vinci Robotic Surgery. I said Michelangelo instead, was confused, did not know what I was doing." And it's kind of, it just struck me as, and I think I've seen this before, that robotic surgery is named Da Vinci, and that's kind of a special name to us around here because of Ken Stout's affection with Da Vinci, the editing program he uses, Da Vinci Resolve. And then also from, that was 2 Saturdays ago, last Saturday, Chris Garrett, that laptop, it may just be an I/O board you can replace. No soldering will be required if that's the case. He's referring there about Tim Sowell's showing us a physically damaged laptop computer. And I think this was specifically about the USB port, that he could just replace the whole I/O board. And Tim Sowell told us, did I call him Tim Stout? Tim Sowell. I don't know if I actually did that. Or just, is it that I have the two words in my head? They both begin with the letter S. But anyway, Tim Sowell affirmed that one of the ideas on the table for them is to buy a used laptop. And then it's the best thing to take those parts and swap them over? Probably not. It's probably going to be disassemble that used laptop and put the drive, the storage drive from the current laptop into the used laptop, and then just go forward from there and not worry about fixing the hinge or fixing the display panel or fixing the case. Now, there are laptops available that are advertised as non-operative, does not work. So in that case, that would be a little bit of a problem, because you might have trouble moving the motherboard from the damaged laptop into the purchased laptop, because that motherboard is maybe a little bit physically damaged around that USB port. But that could be an option. It'd be best for them to get a used laptop that is not working right, or will turn on but doesn't load Windows, maybe. Something along those lines. Then Chris Garrett asking, was that a picture that Gary had of Dave? Was that the Dave from Wendy's, or was it the Dave from Cheech and Chong? I have absolutely no idea. That answer will have to come from Gary, and that was on Saturday's show. So that's all of those. And then I also have another comment on a video to show. Let's see, I think it's back here. This one is no longer on my channel comments because it was a reply that I gave to somebody. Now, this was the video. I have changed the name of this video. Originally, I think it said, why does my virus total column show auto runs errors? Now is Windows Daily number 100. And I got a comment that showed up in my channel comments, and I did not show it on a Windows Daily episode. And he says, what a total waste of my time. This video has no answers. And the reason I want to point this out is because it's my style of responding to somebody. It seems to be a highly critical, highly angry comment. Some YouTube content creators would just delete that comment or maybe even block the person. My choice instead was good point. And he was right about that. That video was originally labeled. I had to go look at this and consider it. Why does my virus total column in AutoRun show errors? That sounds like the video is promising a solution. And he came in with this comment where he says, what a total waste of my time. This video has no answers. I can understand that frustration. My response to him, good point. I changed the title of that video based on your perception of the video as promising a solution. All I could do in that video was provide possible solutions, since I did not have any detail from the person with the trouble. And then he responded back with, thank you, that's a good quality you have. I'd like to think that maybe I made a friend there. Where up here he was frustrated and angry at me. I acknowledged that he actually had a point, and I took action on that. And I kind of hope that we're going to maybe see him around. Maybe not, because he was just searching for a solution to that problem. Now, what actually happened with that problem? There are some other comments in here. I didn't realize it until I went back and looked this morning. Let's see. Osama. Yeah, it was Osama that actually had the original problem. He's the one that said that he had errors in virus total. And he says, thanks for your reply. I did actually download AutoRun in the other laptop as you suggested, and the same thing happened. Maybe it's because of my internet connection. I was worried it's because I actually had a virus attack a month ago, and I was going to use AutoRuns for check after I cleaned my device. Congratulations for 100 videos and thank you for your time. That was probably that was the 100th video of the daily Windows Daily show. I don't think I was calling it that at that time. And of course, that's not 100 videos on my channel. That was just that series of videos. And he says, by the way, my name is Osama, and if you remove the first letter, it will become toxic. Don't worry, that was funny. Actually, it was referring to there is during that video, his name showed up in the original comment in I'm going to guess maybe it was Hebrew, and I tried to do a translation and find out how to pronounce it, and it went down a little bit of a rabbit hole or squirrel that was a little bit entertaining. So so he didn't actually get a resolution to that. We never really did find out why people were getting errors in VirusTotal, and we didn't find out, was this symptom on all of the files were showing up in error, or was it just some of them? I do have some theories about that, but I'm not going to go into that right now. All right, what do we have here? Now I have a redirect to a Carrie Holzman show that's scheduled for today. See, we already looked at that one from Rick. I'm going to look at the other oranges. Ida says, hello, Richard Rogers. Hello, Speedy C. Hello. I'm sorry that I haven't hit all of the chat today. Put a new chat message in if there's something you want me to specifically go back and capture. Show me the time that it was. Or even just triple click on it, copy with a Control C, and then Control V to paste it as a new comment. And best if you hit me in orange. Going to oranges. Opera's kept me free for years. $11.99 per month for something. That's a conversation between Ida and Alice. How much is it? Just 2 months. I've watched 10 Chinese Korean movies. Just love the Emperors. I guess that might be the Prime subscription. I'm not sure. Hello, Tim Cruz. Vimanor, very important to pay attention is if the board was activated before, you must install appropriate Windows Home Pro. Yeah, good point, because a board could be activated. For instance, if you buy a laptop that's refurbished, sometimes they come activated with a corporate edition or an educational edition. Now, if you reinstall Windows from scratch, you need to be installing that same sub-edition, if you will, in order for the digital activation to work. Excellent point. And if you're having to reinstall, let's say you buy a refurbished computer and you have an occasion that you need to reinstall fresh, and you don't have the opportunity to go back and check, was it a corporate edition or was it an educational edition or some other? There's a whole bunch of different editions that it could be. How do you know which one to reinstall? That could become a problem. And for me, I would just go buy one of the licenses from Carrie Holzman's, whatever it's called. Yeah, it costs what, $17 or something like that to just get a new license. Tim Stout, same first name, same initials, coincidence, or are they related? It could be related because their last name starts with the same letter. Sin Vicious, you never responded to second question of survey on Saturday. Second question of survey on Saturday. Okay. Okay. And I think you tried to point that out to me on Saturday, and I thought you were referring to the second topic in the list. Now, the second question, let's go over here to my channel and then community. And so the second, restart printer, is that what you're referring to? Showed 18%. I just, sometimes when somebody's having a printing problem, they can't print, restarting the printer is all it takes. That solves the problem. Is that what you wanted me to respond to? You never responded to the second question of survey. Second question. Is that this is the question. There is only one question in the survey. This is the second one in my community, but that was 6 months ago. Sin Vicious, did you say, yeah, is that what you meant, Sin Vicious? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. John Williams, Carrie's Win license VIP CD code is for operating system or Office, and actually even more for that. If you use Carrie's license, that'll take you to their site. If you buy anything from their site, Carrie gets the credit and you get the discount. He typically says that it's for the operating system or Microsoft Office, but anything you can buy there. I didn't realize it was from 6 months old. So that's what he was referring to, was the other question from 6 months prior. And to give you that's back when on April 1st, Ken was announcing he was no longer producing content. He insisted that it was not an April Fool's Day prank. And this is why I never trust anything that Ken insists that he's not lying, because you can't count on that. No, because I feel his show is so beneficial to my channel, I feel a need to spend perhaps several hours today trying to quickly find a replacement show so as to not lose the momentum that he established for our community. If you know of another YouTube show I could redirect to that has good engagement with the audience, please let me know by replying to this post. If you would like to participate in a farewell event for Ken, let me know. When I wrote this, I knew I was pretty certain that it was April Fool's, but I was trying to really lay into this that when you insist it's not an April Fool's Day prank, that takes it out of the realm of April Fools for me. You have broken the rules. When you're doing an April Fool's prank, if you can't get people to buy into it without pointing out to them that it is April Fool's Day and insist that it's not an April Fool's prank, you gotta be able to sucker them without saying that for it to be a good April Fool's Day prank. So no, I do not give him props for pulling that off. Sin Vicious says, thanks, Doug. I didn't realize it was 6 months. All right. Nobody's telling me to hit up a prior comment, so I will read back through those. I only had to insist due to members of the audience questioning me. Yeah, if you can't pull it off without them questioning you, then you have not pulled off a good prank. And you better start preparing, Ken, for your next prank. I am expecting you to pull it off successfully without having to insist that it's not an April Fool's Day prank. That is the CFK, challenge for Ken. Got this? Challenge for Ken. Pull off an April Fool's Day prank, get people to believe it without insisting it's not an April Fool's Day prank. I'm fine, Tim. Thank you. I better run a poll. I am certain I had at least 1% fooled. But you had 1% fooled with claiming it was not an April Fool's Day prank. You broke the rules. Don't do that. Can't do that. All right. I have a redirect set for Carrie's show at 1 p.m. Pacific time today, which sounds interesting. Is showing damage from UPS shipping. If you'd like to send an email for me to respond to during Windows Daily, there's the email address. I do not respond directly to emails. Or you can put a comment on any of my videos, or you can ask a question in the chat room. Have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.